Well, joining us now is Arizona Republican Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Good to see you, Congresswoman. Tell us what the coronavirus outbreak looks like in your district right now.
Well, thank God we're behind New York, so we have a little bit more time to prepare. We have 20 deaths so far as of the last I've heard, and so we're obviously far behind New York. But that gives us more time to prepare. Our governor, as you said, has asked to declare a national emergency. I signed onto a letter along with Senator McSally and Sinema requesting that the Trump administration approve that because it will bring much needed assets to the state of Arizona. I have to say that the Trump administration is doing a wonderful job. I've talked to the governor's office. They're on regular meetings with Vice President Pence and his team. I also was on a hospital call. I moderated a call with the major hospitals in Arizona yesterday, and FEMA and Health and Human Services, and that was very helpful because the hospitals were able to talk directly with the federal government to say what they needed. So I think people are doing a good job both at the federal level and here in the state of Arizona.
Congresswoman, the governor has received some heat about letting certain businesses like hair salons and barbershops to stay open during this time. What's your response to that criticism?
Well, I think that, Governor Ducey believes in freedom. Now, he also wants to make sure people are keeping safe. So he's saying, okay, try to do the social distancing and be as good as possible on doing that. But there's certain things that people need to do. And so he believes it should be up to the business owner. I myself have not gone in and got my hair done recently because I'm just hunkering down and staying home as much as possible. But I'm still doing the business of Congress by being on tons of conference calls, video conferencing with federal agencies. Also, my office has really been helping people. Tons of people are calling into my office and my staff is helping them out. So, I give credit to Governor Ducey. He has to do a balancing act. Keep people safe, but also keep the economy going as much as possible.
Again, we're talking to Representative Debbie Lesko here in Arizona here. We were trying to get, the whole country involved and seeing how things are so much different than maybe just in New York or Seattle, other places as well. I want to talk to you specifically about this Phase 3 bill that has passed. That's a done deal. We hear now rumblings of a Phase 4 infrastructure being added into that. But then there's this talk about mail-in voting for your 400-plus members. What have you heard about that, and are you in favor of that?
Well, I think that we need to wait before we do any more stimulus bills to see how the last stimulus bill rolls out. As far as the infrastructure, I think that can wait. I mean, we just did billions, trillions of dollar bill, and we need to balance helping the people, the workers that are out of work, which we did in the last bill, which I supported, and then making sure that our deficit is not so incredibly terrible that my great-grandchildren aren't paying for it, which is probably going to be the case. And so I think it's a balance. Is infrastructure something that we should look at in the future? Yes. But is it something we need to do right now? I don't think so. Now, what was your other question again?
Well, the mail-in voting, I believe Pelosi might have brought this up here of you guys not having to actually come to D.C., but mailing in your votes for different legislations. What's your thought on that?
Well, we'll have to see how that plays out. Here in Arizona, our primary is August 4th. So I'm hoping by August 4th we'll be over this and back to a fairly normal life and can go to the polls. And certainly in November, I would hope that we're going to be back to normal. So, the Democrats have really been pushing all mail ballots for a long time, and unfortunately they tried to pack all kinds of things in that last care package, and they got some things in of items that they've wanted for years but haven't got passed, so they wanted to use the opportunity of a crisis to push things through, knowing that the bill had to pass. There were some things in that care stimulus package that I didn't like. They were Democrat pet projects, But overall, I thought it was good for the American worker, for the small businesses especially.
Congresswoman, we know that we're dealing with an economic crisis, but first and foremost, this is a health crisis. And we've heard, at least in New York City, that some of our healthcare workers don't have the exact resources that they need. We've heard about a need for more hospital beds, ventilators as well from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. What does it look like in Arizona? Are they seeing the same demand for these resources?
Well, so far we don't have the surge in our hospitals that is happening in New York. Now, I think yesterday on the call I was with the Health and Human Services, they expect the surge to be April 24th, I believe they said, here in Arizona. So we have a little time to prepare. Governor Ducey has ordered all the hospitals to increase their number of hospital beds by 50%. But they are concerned. Our hospitals are concerned about the PPEs and the ventilators and the test kits. They're still concerned about that. And that's why we had that conference call yesterday. Congressman Biggs, Gosar, Schweikert, and myself were on the conference call with the major hospitals in Arizona, FEMA, and Health and Human Services. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of great innovation going on. One of our hospitals said they already have a system to clean and sterilize the gowns and the masks, but they just need approval from the FDA. So we're working on that to get approval from the FDA. There was also another hospital that has an employee that has developed a new type of mask that can last for 3 months. It has some type of insertable filter, so it can last for 3 months. And again, they need expedited approval from the FDA. So here in Arizona, I and the other Congress members are pushing the FDA to approve these new and innovative things. And we have lots of companies, quite frankly, reaching out to my office and other Congress members' office and saying, we want to help. We have 3D printers. We can help. And so Honeywell has a local facility here that's going to be doing a lot of the equipment. And so I'm thankful that Arizona is a little bit behind the time, so we have a little bit of time to catch up, but it's still a concern. It's still a concern with the hospitals that they're going to have enough equipment.
Well, it's great to hear that you're doing all you can to prepare. That's Arizona Republican Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Congresswoman, thank you for